Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Wells Fargo presents one of the surest ways to grow your money. A Wells Fargo CD account, where you can earn a 5.00% annual percentage yield on an 11-month term with a minimum opening deposit of $5,000. Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/CD rates to open a CD account and start growing your savings with us.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
It's the pop culture film,
Hey, Israel, how much to kill that dude over there?
$5.
Oh man, you're expensive. But welcome to the Pop Culture Field Manual Podcast, everybody. My name is Cameron Fath, and we're sitting at the intersection of weapons, the action, the military, and pop culture. I'm here with my amazing good old buddy.
Behind.
No, never leave a fallen comrade.
I'm fallen. You saying I'm fallen?
Yes,
fallen in my nature,
fallen from
my
grace.
sinful nature. I'm Israel Wright. It's good to be with you, folks. Today,
we're talking cash money, right?
Cash money. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you are a highly skilled soldier or just a really ambitious killer, you can make money out there in the great big world. The capitalistic society that we live in offers you many opportunities.
Just like my mama say, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
Where's that from?
I don't know. I made it up.
No, that's from something.
Is it?
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
I mean, it's a pretty known saying.
Okay.
It's like apples and oranges.
Definitely been a movie.
It's like the more the cushion, the sweeter the push. No,
that's
have you ever seen that? Have you seen Solar Opposites? It's
that's the cartoon.
The cartoon, yeah. And they have one episode where it's like, you know how the format of a lot of TV shows is like you have to learn a lesson through the day. And like the entire episode, they're aware of that. So they're like, we can't finish the episode until we learn something. So they like have this helmet that like teaches them a lesson. And once it teaches them a lesson, they're like, and they take the helmet off. They're like, and then they say what they learned. They're like, I learned that the more the cushion, the sweeter the pushing. And it's it's a great. But anyway, today's episode's about mercenaries, people.
Mercenaries, baby. Soldiers of fortune, Ronin, the A-Team, you know.
Exactly. Guns for hire.
Basically, anybody who's willing to kill for fun. I mean, for profit.
For profit.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what they say? There used to be a sign. There's a very famous picture of a couple Rangers back in the day. I think it was in Vietnam, but it says, if you kill for money, you're a mercenary. If you kill for pleasure, you're a sadist. If you kill for both, you're a ranger. You've never seen a picture of that?
No, I've never
it's
seen
super
it.
famous, man. That's great.
That's a pretty good saying, though, because there's a place for everybody in our society.
Exactly. Even the psychos.
That's
it's
right.
It's called the 75th Ranger Regiment. But, yeah, this, if you haven't guessed it from what we've already said, today we're going to be talking about guns for hire throughout pop culture. You name it. Video games, movies.
There's a ton, man.
Manga. You added some manga in here.
Yeah, man. As I was doing research, I was like, wait, there's a lot of mercenary. Because it's a popular device.
It is.
In storytelling. Like, if you got to get either some good guys or bad guys in an area or have them just be there, be like, oh, they're mercenaries.
They're not just going to pop up, you know?
Yeah.
They're not going to be like, hey, yeah, we align with your values, man. We really support what you guys are doing. If you need some guns that are going to die, I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
No,
for honor, for glory. No, actually just for money.
No, for money. If I'm going to be out here, watching this house, give me some money.
Yeah, exactly.
But Israel, what is a mercenary?
A mercenary is sometimes known as a soldier of fortune or a hired gun. Is a private individual, particularly a soldier, who takes part in military conflicts for personal profit, is otherwise an outsider to the conflict and is not a member of any other military force. So the classic definition, right, is basically just a hired a sellsword, a hired gun.
Exactly.
You know?
Got some military experience or not. Those are the cheap ones.
Yep.
The real expensive ones are the ones with like special operations background, and you just are, you don't take any sides.
Right.
You don't ask any questions. You just, who am I working for, and what do you need me to do?
Exactly. Now that's like the most basic definition, but like the modern day incarnation would be any like PMCs,
Private military contractor.
private military contractors. The triple canopies, the Blackwaters of the day.
Yes,
they have different
GRS.
names nowadays. And so I like how they just basically like rebrand, or they just started. It's the same people, but
Yeah, it's literally the same people. They're just like, oh, we did something bad. Time to rebrand.
But you see them everywhere, man. So we can talk about whatever you want to, whichever order you want to go in, man. I got the first one here.
Go for it. Jump right into it, man.
Well, Cloud Strife, in the beginning of Final Fantasy VII, he is a hired sellsword. He's working with Avalanche, which is Barrett and Tifa's like eco-terrorist group or eco-insurgency group. They're trying to stop the reactors, from sucking the life out of the earth. Yeah, the Dementors and the Hoyts.
The Hoyts, he's sucking your soul out.
But yeah, Cloud Strife, so that's basically how he starts. And it's funny because, throughout the course of the game, he has these memories of being a soldier and working for Shinra. But you find out that those are just like implanted memories from actually somebody else.
Which Final Fantasy is this guy
Final
from?
Fantasy VII.
7, because he's got a big old sword. I'm looking at pictures of him right now.
Yeah, his Buster Sword. Final Fantasy VII, which came out on the PlayStation way back when. Then they did a remake, which came out just recently.
Oh, man.
They've
He's
done
also in
a
Smash
movie,
Bros. That's
Advent
cool.
Children. Yeah, he's in Smash Bros. So you see Cloud Strife everywhere, and that's kind of how we are introduced to him in the game. Is he's basically a mercenary. No loyalty, not a very good memory. Turns out a lot of the memories are not even his.
Oh, they're implanted.
They're
injected.
implanted. Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy, dude.
But,
yeah.
But another example would be Samus Aran.
Yeah,
or Samus
the
Aran
lady
from the Metroid games.
You know how long it took me to figure out that Samus was a woman?
Tell me the story.
I didn't know. That's the story right there.
Oh,
I never
okay.
knew. And I grew up playing Smash Brothers.
Right.
And it's funny because a lot of these characters are on Smash Brothers. I grew up playing. Then Samus, even her own game, never knew that was a woman.
That was like in the beginning in the NES version, the Nintendo version. That was kind of like the big reveal. If you beat it, I think in under a certain time limit or a certain way, she like takes off her uniform. She's like in a bikini. It's like, oh, it was a woman the whole time. You're like, I'm so surprised because women can't do those kinds of things. Which, of course, I'm just kidding, which is why I use the goofy voice. All right, get off my back. It's too bad there's no strong female characters in pop culture today. Yeah. But yeah, Samus Aran, yeah.
Yeah,
and she's essentially she bounces around. She's more of a principled bounty hunter. Bounty hunter are bounty hunters. Okay,
let's talk about this because that's one of mine. Like, obviously, I have mad love,
right,
for the Mandalorian.
Yep.
That's definitely going to be one I'm going to talk about deep dive because. Have you been watching the Book of Boba Fett?
I have not.
It's been starting off slow, but it redeemed itself.
Oh, okay.
It has redeemed itself hardcore because it literally just turned into a continuation of The Mandalorian.
Oh, I heard that he makes an appearance.
He does make an appearance, and the appearance is an entire episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like, dude, they literally just recontinued The Mandalorian, and it was awesome.
Okay.
Because the things in that episode, they like bring back old school Star Wars.
Oh.
So like, I'll go back into it and any spoilers, but is a bounty hunter the same as a mercenary?
And I'll take you one further. Is a mercenary the same as a vigilante? I'm
Well, the vigilante. I'm gonna look up the definition of vigilante.
A vigilante is just someone that like takes justice into their own hands.
Then absolutely,
right. They're not
mercenary.
they're
not even like there may not be. I'm sure there's vigilantes for hire, but
which I guess
like
would make
Batman.
them mercenaries.
Can you hire Batman?
Which then they're mercenaries.
Yeah,
but a vigilante like Batman's a vigilante.
Yeah, but he's not doing it for the money because he's already a millionaire.
Yeah, he
just does it for the glory.
Does it all for the nookie. Come on, the nookie. So you can take the cookie and take it up. But yeah, bounty hunter versus mercenary. So bounty hunters, obviously, bounty hunter, right? They're hired for, but they're hunters, right? They get hired, but it's for a specific purpose to go find somebody, right?
Also, I don't think they're directly hired because you put out a bounty, right? You're like, okay, anybody, because think about John Wick. There's a bounty, anybody can go get him.
Yeah,
right?
Anybody can collect.
Can collect it, but mercenaries are hired at an individual level. You know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, nice to meet you. What are your skill sets? Okay, yeah, I hire you specifically.
Well, yeah, it's not like there's a conflict and like, hey, we're taking everybody. If you want to show up, you're going to be our Mercenary.
I mean, they're very close. Same, but different.
Open war tryouts. I like it.
Yeah, war tryouts.
Hey, we're going to war. Just show up and we'll give you a gun.
We'll give you 3 squares. And
No, bring your own. You got to bring your own stuff.
Yeah, 3 hots and a cop.
It's like, hey, bring your own stuff, and if you show up, you'll get paid. That's bounty hunter. But mercenary's like, hey, come try out. You still got to use your own stuff most of the time, but if we like you, we will retain you.
We will retain your
I
service.
feel like the difference is a bounty hunter is someone that is tracking down a specific individual or group of individuals to collect money, and a mercenary is someone hired
to do a specific job,
perform a task or run a mission.
Yeah. So they're very
within
similar.
the context usually of a conflict, a larger conflict.
They're very similar.
Yeah. So
I think we can throw bounty hunters in here.
yeah, let's talk about.
But then where do assassons fit? Is an assassin a mercenary? It's a very specific mission.
I think an assassin
is a bounty hunter. Because sometimes the bounty hunter, you don't have to bring him back alive.
An assassin's a mercenary. It's a hired gun or a hired knife, depending on how you swing.
Have a very specific target.
Because mercenaries, you're not hiring a mercenary to kill someone.
You're just hiring them.
You're hiring them to be around in case you need to kill someone.
So are mercenaries security guards?
Wait a second.
Why mercenaries
is this so difficult?
Are mercenaries mall cops?
Mall cops. Now, if there's a war zone and he's a mall cop, then maybe he's a mercenary.
Is it within the mall?
We're
deep diving. Let us know your thoughts on this.
Mercenary,
we'd love to hear.
Bounty hunter.
But let's do it. Let's just include them.
Let's talk.
We're
about
inclusive.
It. Listen,
we're
I
not
love this stuff, so I could talk about it till the cows come home. So.
Okay. Well, I might as well just talk about the Mandalorian since I already mentioned it.
Do it.
Actually, no. We started off. Samus was an intergalactic bounty hunter, but other bounty hunters that are intergalactic. Yeah, the Mandalorian. The Book of Boba Fett started off real disappointing.
You want to catch me up? Spoilers, folks, if you haven't watched it. But you can catch me up.
I'm going to catch him up. So no spoilers.
No. Book of Boba Fett's been out for like a month.
Okay, then we're good.
Statute of limitations. I'm watching it, so I don't want you to ruin it for me. I don't care about the listeners.
Damn it! I want to talk about it so bad, Chris.
No, don't talk about the Book of Boba. Just talk about the Mandalorian.
Okay,
that's been out for like 2 years.
in the Book of Boba Fett.
Well, don't talk about that one specific episode. Okay. I haven't seen it yet, and you're already kind of ruining it for me.
Sorry, Chris. Sorry to ruin your day. The Mandalorian, yeah, pretty cool. I like how he has the. What? We're talking about the Mandalorian.
You sound so dejected now. You're like, yeah, I guess the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I guess it's fucking.
Can a mercenary have a code though? Can they choose to not work for certain people because they're like, oh, we don't want to work for the bad guys?
Definitely, I think. I mean, there's nothing about like moral.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
They're selling their services, but they can have morals. About
they can be selective. They're not like war whores,
you
know. And they're just like, yeah, you get some, you get some.
You get to use me and abuse me.
No, you can have a code. I definitely think there's a code to it of like what you do and what you don't do.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen mercenaries still have to go by like Geneva Convention because that's like a.
Do they?
I believe so.
Some do. I'm sure some will.
Yeah,
like PMC is like. Non-governmental PMC, private military contracts. I'm sure in order to get hired, you would have to agree to abide by some rules.
I think there's war. There's rules of war, right? And I think anybody participating entity or nation or just random entity or contractor still needs to abide.
Yeah.
Parlay, if you will. The code of pirates.
Yeah. The pirates code.
Pirates code. Yeah, what is the code? Who's the keeper
What are
of the
pirates? Code? Can they be? They can be hired out because I know that back in the old
pirates
days, they were hired out by.
You could be
nations.
a mercenary, mercenary pirates to go loot the booty.
I mean, to kind of tie it in.
Do we have a pirate episode
in Lord? No, we don't have. We could
pirates.
An old salty sea dog episode. Yeah. But in Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, those men on the ships who were basically pirates were mercenaries.
Right, they were being hired by Mordor.
Yeah. Look at that.
They're sellswords.
Good on you. The ghosty guys were kind of like mercenaries too because they had to repay their debt. Their debt to their old commander. That's why their souls were locked in this mortal plane.
Yeah, but they didn't give them any money.
You're right. But it was a payment in redemption.
Yeah. What is your version of money? What is your currency, Chris?
Well, so those guys,
Spoilers?
I would argue those guys were more like... Because what was it? Like on the Barbary Coast, they used to capture sailors and then force them to work for them.
Yeah, that was one of our first kind of naval conflicts.
What was it called, though? It wasn't...
Isn't that slavery?
I mean, Yes, in a way, but it's not. That's not what it was called.
We don't pay slaves.
Indentured slavitude.
It's like an indentured
slaves.
servant, but it's like, God, I forget the term. I'm going to look it up, and then I'm going to come back in 5 minutes.
All right, come back in 5 minutes.
So anyways, I guess Mandalorian, right? It's cool.
Mandalorian, yeah. That's all you can say. It's all we have the freedom to say.
But I mean, we could just talk about the original Mandalorian series. But yeah, no, definitely bounty hunter, right? But has a code. Obviously, because he saves Grogu.
Yep.
And then he becomes the dark saber is pretty cool. I think that's like a.
Yeah, well, that's definitely part of the larger Star Wars lore that they're kind of.
They're bringing in a big universe because the thing I didn't understand. I think I've touched on this in past episodes. It's like when the original Star Wars came out, and like people started really like brandishing Mandalorian stickers and everything. When I watched the Star Wars, I was like. You see these guys for like 2 seconds. You see
original
like
trilogy, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you see what you see Django a little bit
in the prequel trilogy, yeah.
Yeah, in the prequel you see him just a tad, and he gets in one fight with like Obi-Wan, and that's like all your exposure. But then in the first Star Wars, you get to see Boba, who doesn't do shit.
Yeah, he really has 2 lines.
He's got 2 lines, and he just sits in the background.
I think it was one of those things where like he just captured people's imagination because he was like mysterious and he was a bounty hunter, so it was kind of a mystique and a sexiness.
I don't
to him.
think there was like any books out. Do you know? I'm sure there's some
books.
Star Wars. Yeah, there definitely probably have some Mandalorian books.
Yeah, I mean there have been books.
Yeah, if you're listening to this and you're a Star Wars nerd, send us the names of these.
Yeah, let us know
books.
how did and how did Boba Fett become such a crazy.
I will tell you though, and this
character.
isn't any spoilers because it's in the trailers and everything. Boba Fett takes his helmet off way too fucking much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, way too much.
And whereas in The Mandalorian, he never takes his helmet off.
Yeah, and in the Star Wars too, he never takes his. In Star Wars, when the ones he's in, he never takes his helmet off ever. But in this one, his helmet is literally always off.
Yeah,
and I hate it.
Oh, you hate it? Oh,
I hate it because I mean, allegedly. I forgot who's explaining. Was you explaining this to me about the Mandalorian? There's different levels.
Yeah,
of,
he's actually there's Mandalorians as a race. Like there's a planet
there's a Mandalore.
You can be Mandalorian and be from there, but he's actually a part of like this cult.
Yeah,
like this really hardcore, almost like a religious sect
cult,
where they never take their helmet
because
like this is the way, that whole thing.
Yeah,
which I liked. I like how they differentiated between because when he meets Katie Sackhoff and their characters, they're Mandalorians. And he's like, you're not true. And she's like, no, you don't understand. You're a part of some weird cult. We're regular Mandalorians.
Yeah, like we're from Mandalore, man.
Yeah.
Don't trip.
So,
God, I really want to say some stuff.
Dude, let's just keep pushing, man. So let's
just
talk
push
about more.
past it, and then Chris,
so it's called impressment.
Oh,
when they would capture sailors and then they would force them to work or like fight for them.
Is it paid?
Or the press. No.
So it's slavery.
I mean, they paid them with 3 hots and a cot.
Right.
But
so it's like you can't leave. You have to work for us, but we're not going to kill you.
Yeah, it's like
we're going to make you kill other people. Yeah, maybe some of your own countrymen.
Yeah. Whoa, impressment.
Code of the sea. The Seaman's Code. All right, stand by for pirate episode.
Yeah, pirate episode coming up. So let's talk about some movies. Let's move on to the movie section.
Okay.
Because there's some really good ones like The Expendables.
The Expendables. Yeah,
there's 3 of them,
Stallone
right?
still going.
Yeah.
There's a new one coming out too. They're still working on it.
Oh my
like
God.
Sylvester Stallone. How old is this guy? He must be in his 70s.
He's got to be in his 70s.
I'm going to call 73.
That guy, he can do anything with horse or with horse steroids.
Yeah, bull.
He got arrested, actually. He got arrested going through like some Asian country for horse steroids.
Sylvester Stallone is 75 years old, and he's still doing it.
Dude, he's Sylvester Stallone. He's a cultural icon by this point. But the Expendables movies are great because it brought back together all these action icons for one massive movie. And they just kept on doing that. They brought back Jean-Claude Van Damme. You got to see Arnold Schwarzenegger in it.
Chuck Norris is
Harrison
in it.
Ford. Yeah, even Jet Li. He kind of had to bow out because he got some weird disease that makes him look super old. Which is maybe it's just age. No, actually, I think he had like some. I don't know if he. No, I thought he had some condition. You guys can let us know. Jet Li, there was something that happened with him where he maybe he's just old now. I don't know. I thought he had to retire or something.
Here, I'm googling some stuff. I'm not. Okay. I'm still listening to Israel.
So if you're gonna get a comment, you're not paying attention to Israel.
I'm paying attention. I'm just trying to talk about something. But there's 4 Expendables.
4 Expendables.
Or the 4th one is coming out. Okay. Is it out yet?
I know there's 3. That
the release date, it just says 2022.
Okay.
Okay. Initial release. Okay. That one has Megan Fox in it.
Cool. Okay. Megan Fox. She's She had a career, you know.
She's got thumbs.
Then
have you seen Megan Fox's thumbs?
No,
we've literally already had this conversation.
We already had a thumb conversation.
She's got toe thumbs.
She's got toe thumbs. Okay. It's weird. 50 Cent in this one. Very cool. Ooh, Antonio Banderas.
Hey, good for him. Yeah, he's an old action star coming back.
Yeah, and
he was in that other movie with Sylvester Stallone and Julianne Moore called Assassins.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
What is that one ninja movie? It's like League of Assassins, or no? It's like
Ninja Assassin.
It's like Ninja Assassin.
Ninja Assassin.
Yeah, that one is brutal.
Yeah, Korean. Yeah, it's really bloody.
Really, it's like 300, but for Asians.
Yeah, dudes like getting their. It's always more gruesome. Not when a guy gets his head chopped off, but when he gets like half of his head chopped off, like at the jawline. That's always grosser.
Yeah, Ninja Assassin. That one was pretty. I like that one. It was based on
that dude.
Asian
I think I heard a statistic where he trained so hard that he got down to 0% body fat.
That's impossible.
Just all muscle. You know. Oh well. Ronin. Did you ever see Ronin? We've talked about Ronin before.
Ronin, is that the one with
Robert De Niro?
Is Keanu Reeves in that?
No. This is they're all.
That's 47 Ronin.
That's 47 Ronin. Okay.
I want to see that. Isn't that like a wild fantasy, like Japanese fantasy? I want to see that. Why have I not seen this movie?
Yeah.
Probably because it's not very good. But,
maybe.
No, I should see it. I love that stuff.
Tell me about Ronin.
Ronin's great. It's a 1998 movie with Robert De Niro, and he plays like a retired CIA guy. Basically, these people are all hired. They're mercenaries. They're hired to like steal. I forget what it is, but and they like coordinate the whole thing. But then it turns into a double cross on Robert De Niro, and I think Stellan Skarsgård ends up being like the bad guy. He double crosses him. He takes the thing for himself, and then it's a matter of them kind of getting back at him, you know. And I forget now. It's been so long since I've seen it, but it has one of the coolest car chase scenes in movie history. It's so awesome. It's all practical. It's before like CGI really took over. So cool. Yeah, really awesome. Sean Bean's in it. Sean Bean dies.
Sean Bean. Let me ask you. I was doing some research about I Googled the word Ronin.
That's research.
Yeah, it's research. Yeah. Tell me why Marvel Studios has a poster called Ronin and it's like Hawkeye. Is that something on the radar?
I think that's what he calls himself in the kind of in the blip era, because he doesn't get blipped and his family gets taken from him, so he turns into like a vigilante basically, and he calls himself Ronin. Yeah,
that's
a Ronin.
Cool.
We can talk about it a little bit, but a Ronin is from the Japanese era, like kind of like times with samurais and ninjas, where a Ronin is a masterless samurai. It's a wanderer. It literally means wave man. As somebody who just drifts along. And there's a great movie, we can talk about it if you want to, but there's a movie called Yojimbo, and it's a Akira Kurosawa movie. And actually, if you've seen the Western A Fistful of Dollars, it's literally taken off. It's the same story. It's just a Western, yeah. But Yojimbo is about a masterless samurai. He comes to a town where there are two rival families battling each other. Yeah, and he gets caught up in that whole thing. He kind of goes back.
Well, that's kind of a big deal, though, back in ancient Japan. Like, if you were a samurai with no master, that was like, what is your purpose?
Right, yeah. You basically just become like a sellsword.
You're just like a way, you're like the way of the warrior.
Yeah, criminal. You can do bodyguard. You can do guard trade caravans. You could be a bandit or a highwayman.
That's pretty cool.
Because it says the whole, like, there were different laws that they passed, like, during different time periods in Japan's history, where like there was one where like you couldn't work for anybody else unless your master expressly said you could.
Yeah, unless you're a daimyo.
Yeah, exactly. Your daimyo. Yeah, the shogunate or whatever.
Shogun.
But Japan's got a long, wild history with all that kind of.
I know it's very.
Stuff.
Japan's warrior class is a cut above. Like, they took it seriously, which I have big appreciation for.
Yeah, the Akira Kurosawa movies for the younger of our audience. But if you like that kind of Japanese culture stuff, the Kurosawa movies they stand alone. There's a bunch of them. There's Yojimbo. There's Hidden Castle, upon which some of the original Star Wars: A New Hope is based on. Because George Lucas heavily drew from that storyline. There's a bunch of great Sanjiro and a bunch of cool. The big one that I wanted to talk about as well was Seven Samurai. Seven Samurai is a story of this poor Japanese village, and they have these bandits that come in every year to, like, they rape and pillage, and they take all their stuff, and they just can't take it anymore. So they try to go and find samurai to come and protect them, and they end up finding 7 of them, basically.
Yeah.
7 samurai against like an entire legion of bandits.
That's
and
nuts.
It's all about them trying to protect the village. And then they did another kind of swipe with that where there's a Western called The Magnificent Seven. There's actually in 1960 with Yul Brynner, and then they remade it with Denzel Washington back in 2016.
Yeah, I remember
the exact
remake.
same story.
Yeah.
They just kind of lifted it and stuff. But Magnificent, or the 7 Samurai, is freaking awesome. Yeah.
I like that movie. It was fucking solid.
Yeah.
Because and then like speaking of samurai, I was reading this book for school once, and it was like about the difference in culture between Japan and China and American. It was a business book, but like they were talking about like in Japan they have like Bushido, which is the way of the warrior, essentially, like
honor code.
Yeah, the honor code, and there was different types of do. So like Bushido was like the way of the warrior, and then there was like they had a bunch of different types, and I was like, man, I would always, when I was doing karate as a little kid, Mom signed me up so I could defend myself from bullies.
You're a little one. You're just a little one.
They were like, oh, it's the Bushido, man. You hear it all the time, and you're like, don't really know what it is. But yeah, there's different types of it. And I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
But speaking of assassins and kind of moving away from Japan. What about like, you seen that movie Smoking Aces?
Yeah, that's a total like assassin type movie.
Yeah, and they're all
that's a
hired
good
guns.
one. They're all hired guns.
It's been so long since I've seen that. It just popped in my head because
that's a good one,
I was
man.
talking with it with my buddy. And he's like, "Have you seen Smoking Aces?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's been a while." But that movie's all kooky and crazy, and the different like personalities of all those different assassins. They all get like in the same room trying to get the one guy, and they're like end up fighting each other instead.
Yeah, you got like the Tremor brothers. You got that one. Like he's always changing his identity. Like the South American dude. He bites his own fingers off, like the skin of his fingers off, so you can't trace him. And Smoking Aces.
I gotta rewatch that movie. There's some kooky characters in that. I really appreciate character design is a big thing for me.
Yes,
like,
and that's hard to do. Chris Pine was one of the Tremor brothers. That's right. You can't just like make like, you can't just be goofy for goofy's sake, right?
Yeah, no.
All these characters in the movie Smoking Aces have some interesting aspect about them. Like the Tremor brothers, they're just psychos.
Yeah,
they're just go in, guns blazing, all that kind of stuff. And then like, who's the other guy? Like Common, he plays the bodyguard to Jeremy Piven's character, Buddy Israel.
And
his thing
Ryan Reynolds in this movie?
Ryan Reynolds is in it, yep. Ryan Reynolds plays one of the FBI agents along with Ray Liotta, who's trying to get Jeremy Piven's character because he's like this crucial aspect to this prosecution of this crime family, right? And so, there's those two guys. And so everybody has a certain like character aspect, like an archetype about them. And then they have some goal that they're after. Well, you know what I love is I'm looking at the cast list, Ben Affleck.
Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Martin Henderson and Peter Berg are like this trio of dudes that like they come up with the idea of like stealing the uniforms, and then they just get totally blasted and blown away by the Tremor brothers, and they take the uniforms. But then Martin Henderson's character, he's the one that lives. He gets his fingers blown off, and then he's like at the old lady's place, like in the woods, and she has the kid who's like the total nerd who's like doing like the karate and stuff and then at the end he finally gets his revenge on Chris Pine's character Because Chris Pine's character looks like he's going to get away, but Martin Henderson's like there, and he ends up just shooting him in the back, you know?
Yeah, I got to rewatch that movie, man. All I remember is it's just crazy all the time.
Dude,
crazy.
It was, yeah, no, it was, I'm trying to look for the South American dude, but yeah, it's crazy. And then it turns out to be like this kind of like, they're all going after him, but then it turns out that the crime boss that they were looking for was actually an FBI agent who went deep undercover originally, and then he just kind of usurped that guy's identity and actually became the crime boss. So they needed him alive, and so they were going to take like Buddy Israel's like heart, you know, and transplant. But then at the end, Ryan Reynolds learns all this, and his partner Ray Liotta gets killed, and he ends up just pulling the plug on both of them, letting them both die. Because he's like, because they were just going to let him go. All the hard work that they went through to get him.
Now I totally need to watch this movie again. It sounds badass.
Joe Carnahan, man. Yeah, that was like one of his first like huge movies, like to put him on the scene. Yeah, really good movie. Smoking Aces.
That's a good one. What about like Deadpool?
Deadpool, yeah. It's because Deadpool he's a total merc in the movie, right? They have the Deadpool at the bar where he goes to.
I totally forgot why. Yeah, that's why he's called. And he's an assassin.
Betting on whether or not he's going to die on the job. Yeah, that's the Deadpool.
The Deadpool. Know? Yeah, and you wouldn't win money if he dies. Yeah, dude, I totally forgot about. I was like, why is he called Deadpool again? And then it's in the movie. But yeah, he's totally an assassin.
Yep.
And then Ryan Reynolds' character.
The role that he was born
redemption.
To play.
Total redemption. Because we don't talk about his first Marvel role.
We don't talk about the first time he was Deadpool.
No.
Which was in X-Men Origins.
Yeah, when he comes back and he doesn't have a mouth.
Yeah. And he could like teleport and have laser eyes and stuff.
Yeah, he's like everything. Not to mention, Ryan Reynolds has been a superhero before.
Yes, he has.
And we don't talk about that either.
Talk about that area. Apparently, he knows that we're not supposed to talk about the Green Lantern.
The Green Lantern.
In the post-credit sequence.
Yeah, he's like, yes, not the Green Lantern. I love how they break the third wall. Is it the third wall or
the fourth wall?
Fourth. Fourth.
Yeah, also, Deadpool, his nickname in the comics is the Merc with a Mouth.
The Merc with a Mouth.
Merc with a mouth. No.
And in the first one when they're getting ready to experiment on him, he's like, don't give me a green costume or animated or something like that.
I do like how he... Hey, they know. I do like that. That was like redemption there. Now I can watch like Green Lantern and be like, he knows this movie is trash.
Yeah.
So...
Deadpool was the role that Ryan Reynolds was born to play.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's just his personality, and that's Deadpool's personality. You know?
Yeah. No, it's perfect.
The first one was great. Second Deadpool, not as much of a fan, but still had some good parts to it. Yeah. Freaking Josh Brolin getting jacked, playing, what's his name from the future? I forget him.
Cable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Magic Voice Chris.
Magic Voice Chris, always there.
Always there in a pinch.
Yeah, because, I mean, you got, like, Deadpool 2, and then on the DC side, you have Deadshot.
Yeah, Deadshot, and that's Will Smith's character in Suicide Squad.
I think Will Smith did a great job, and The Smell of Gunpowder, I did the same thing.
I read up. I was trying to remember because they basically got Idris Elba to replace him, and they just made him
what's
a different
the deal
character.
with that? Yeah.
Well, I think he said it was just a scheduling issue. He was like, I was doing something at the time. They were going to go, and I just couldn't make it.
Because honestly, they're two completely different movies, right? The Suicide Squad. And
it's weird. It's like a reboot without. It's like a sequel, but also like a reboot kind of thing. Because Rick Flag's still in it. He plays the same person. Harley Quinn plays the same person. It's with the same actress. But it's a totally different story.
Okay, comic book nerds. Question for you.
Yeah.
So I love how you say yeah.
I'm paying attention. Yes,
but the Suicide Squad had a lot of different people in it. Like there was a multitude, and there was different evolutions of it. Because when I was looking up the cast originally of the movie, and I was like, wait, there's like 16 more people that are considered.
The comic book was like kind of an excuse to take like D and C level villains and kind of put them back into a comic. So it's had evolution. Throughout.
Because like Grand Shark wasn't in the original, and all of a sudden he's like a fan favorite. Yeah.
Voiced by
Sylvester Stallone.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bird.
Yeah. No, I still haven't seen that one either. Dude, I need to get on my movie jam.
Oh, the new one?
The new one. I've seen the old one.
The new one's fun.
Yeah, I heard it was really good.
Yeah, he did a good job with it. Yeah. That's I feel like that's James Gunn's sensibility. That's like
how did Idris Elba do as Deadshot?
He did great. Idris Elba's a great actor. Yeah, and they gave him a heart. They gave him, something to go for. Yeah. I think the MVP. Well, Harley Quinn just does an amazing job, but the heart of the movie is the Rat Catcher 2, the young girl who can control rats.
What?
Yeah, that's her ability. She can control rats.
That's kind of shit.
And her dad, in her flashbacks, her dad is played by Taika Waititi. He has like a little cameo in there, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, plenty of good stuff from the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, dude. Moving on. Sorry, I didn't. I saw this one.
Move
I was
on.
like, yeah,
I'm ready.
I was like, yeah, I actually really like this one. Have you seen? It's pretty new. It came out in 2020. Extraction.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Was a great
Chris Hemsworth.
one.
That was like a
Chris Hemsworth
runaway. I loved that movie, man.
I love that. Yeah, the tactics are awesome. I think. I mean, as far as an action movie, it's like everything you can ask for.
Yeah. I've said it before. I'll say it again. In the world of action movies, it's very hard to innovate. It's very hard to do something that hasn't been seen before because you feel like you've seen it all. But when you saw Extraction, you're like, wow, I'm really impressed.
The camera work, the fight sequences.
They have that long supposed one shot. You know, it falls around for like 10 minutes. I love
and they're fighting and driving and fighting and shooting.
Yeah, he's getting in, getting out because he's going up the building, around, going back down. You know?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. But for those of you that don't know, here is background on the movie.
Yes.
So this is a description off the interweb. A black market mercenary who has nothing left to lose is hired to rescue the kidnapped son of an imprisoned international crime lord. But in the murky underworld of weapons dealers and drug traffickers, an already deadly mission approaches the impossible.
That's a good tagline, man.
That is. Already dirty. The underworld. The murky underworld.
For no good reason, I feel like I'm sympathetic towards Chris Hemsworth because I know that he's like Thor, and as an actor, you don't want to be pigeonholed as the same thing.
Yeah, like Harry Potter. I mean,
right,
Harry Potter.
He's just Harry Potter.
Yeah. Dude, that guy could never get away from that role. But no, that's the
any kind of franchise.
It's hard to escape that.
Yeah, I'm glad that he has Extraction because they're making another one.
Oh, they are making another one. Oh, that's
totally
amazing news.
Yeah.
And isn't he Australian in it?
Yeah, is
he South American? Is he South American?
He's Australian. I think
is he Australian? Because in the beginning he's like, "Hey, hold my beer." I didn't say drink it.
Yeah,
and he jumps off the well.
Yeah,
or the big waterfall. Yeah, man, that one is awesome. I really like that one.
Yeah. Well, listen, man. If we're going to talk about this, we can't talk about this kind of movie without talking about John Wick. I mean, if we're going to bring it all in,
damn it, yeah.
If we're going to bring it all in, bounty hunters, mercs, and assassins,
of course.
John Wick is like the king of them all, man.
Yes, they are. Yeah, John Wick. And I still can't get. I mean, how many times has John Wick appeared on this podcast? Don't answer that question.
Oh my
we don't
gosh,
have enough.
You're right. We have talked about him a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a legendary movie.
Because he satisfies a lot of intersections of the pop culture.
He also sits at the intersection of all the stuff that we sit at.
So every time we drive by the intersection, he's there.
As well as being an amazing human being, Keanu Reeves is freaking awesome.
Yeah, just a nice guy,
man, dude. And you know what? It's not going to stop.
No,
it's not. That's the thing, people.
Because he's not going to stop making movies. They're making another one.
And they're making another one, and that's the thing. We're not going to stop talking about John Wick. So if you get sick of it, it's fine. I'm willing to lose you. That's okay. Yeah. John Wick is awesome. No, he's definitely awesome. The legion of underground assassins.
The death ballet that is the fight choreography from those movies.
Yes.
I think they only get better, actually.
You think
so?
Yeah,
I like the first John Wick. I thought, wow, this is really cool. Like that, very innovative and stuff. I thought like the fight scene with the old Russian guy at the end was very lackluster. But they've only gotten better. I think as they've.
I mean, the third one that is the entire movie's a fight sequence.
Yeah,
it doesn't stop.
It does. Because doesn't it at the end of the second one, he kills that person on continental ground, and is like that means they have to put a hit out on everybody. So that's how the movie starts: is him running, and his hour's running out.
Yeah,
it's an hour head
and
stop.
Everybody's coming after him.
Yeah,
and don't they? How does he make it to stop? How does he get it to stop? He goes to the Russians, right?
He has to go to one of the people, the high table they call it, the leaders of like the whole continental like assassins club. He has to go there and he has to cut off his own finger and I think he has to like redeem himself or something. And then he goes back to defend the Continental, and then Michael Sheen betrays him, or Michael Shannon. Michael Shannon betrays him.
Oh, yeah.
And then he falls off the building and disappears. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah, I remember.
Are you talking about Ian McShane?
Ian McShane. I was way off.
Michael Shannon?
Samsonite.
Yeah, I was like, who?
Samsonite.
Yeah, because he gives him the location, right? And then he's like defending the Continental. And then...
Yeah, and then at the end, the lady from the High Roller says, we need to make a deal. You can have your Continental back, but what about John Wick? He's like, oh, we can just shoot him. Like he tries to shoot him, and then Keanu Reeves like jumps off the building.
And that's it.
And falls. And he gets picked up by Lawrence Fishburne. And he's like, are you mad, John Wick? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I'm mad.
You can say I'm back.
Yeah, I guess you could say I'm back. Yeah, no, John Wick. That's
Long may he reign.
Long may he reign
John
forevermore in the PCFM world. Well, dude,
gotta give a quick shout out, some honorable mentions in the literary world. If you read Game of Thrones or if you've watched the TV show, you know that sell swords or mercenary companies are a big part of it.
Yeah.
Dario Naharis, played by Michael Houseman, but first played by Ed Skrein in the previous season. He's a sellsword. He joins with Dany's troop. Bronn, one of the main characters with Tyrion and all those guys. He's throughout it. He's a sellsword.
Oh, yeah. He gets mad rich in that.
Yeah, he becomes like a lord at the
Yeah,
end
he becomes like a lord after a battle. He's
Oh,
like,
doesn't he become the master of coin at the end of the very end of the
he
series?
gets up there.
And then there's the Golden Company, who in the books as of right now, Tyrion has actually joined on with the Golden Company because they're like a traveling mercenary band, and they're over where he's at. In the series, they just get thrown away. Like they get hired, and then the dragon comes through. Danny comes through, and the dragon just blows them all away, and they all get killed.
Like, damn it! Well, we tried.
And then one quick one, just because I'm a big fan of the series. If you haven't read it and you're a fan of fantasy novels, R. Scott Baker, his two book series. One's the Prince of Nothing trilogy, and then there's a sequel trilogy called the Aspect Emperor series that is not finished yet. But there's sellswords and mercenary companies throughout. In the second one, the Aspect Emperor trilogy or series, he goes with another character, and they have to like find this ancient I forget what they're called. These like very hidden away druid kind of like people where one of the other main characters like originated. So he needs to find his origin basically, and he hires this company to go with him, and they just end up just all getting slaughtered by the end of it. Like they go through this awesome wild journey through like 2 books, and it's just like by the end of them there's like 3 left, and one of them gets killed and the other goes crazy and the other one dies. It's like, oh, okay.
Okay, happy ending then, huh?
But if you like fantasy, it's pretty dark for those that for our younger viewers and listeners. R. Scott Baker, no, pretty good. Lots of mercs all over, man.
Mercs.
I just wanted to, merc, all over the place.
Well, I mean, I see here that you have a mini game.
Yes, there is a little mini game.
A
little mini game. This is something I just came up with. What would be the name of your mercenary band, and what would be your specialty? What would you specialize in if you could?
Okay, so good question. I kind of want to say this has been a name. Well, when I was in regiment, I wanted to start a band.
Oh,
not
really?
necessarily a mercenary band, but a heavy metal band. We were going to be called 6 for the Creed. And specialized, you could probably guess, just the hammer tactic. We'll be really good at killing.
It's just really good.
Here I go killing again.
Here we go. Did I do that?
Did I do this?
Oh, man.
But yeah, dude, we were called 6 for the Creed. It was going to be an all-ranger band. And the reason we named it that, or I came up with that name, was because every time before you say the Ranger Creed, there's 6 stanzas, and the first sergeant goes, "Give me 6 for the Creed."
Okay.
So it kind of became
to recite all 6.
Yeah, so
okay.
6 people would come, and they would one person would do 1 stanza, and then it'd go down the line.
Okay.
And so I was like, 6 for the Creed. That's kind of funny.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, so that's where I got that name from.
If I was gonna have a mercenary band, it's funny because I feel like heavy metal bands might also work for mercenary bands.
Yes,
as
it
would. My buddies and I used to come up with like all sorts of crazy, like just crazy jokes and crazy sayings and stuff. But like I found like it was a doll leg, a Barbie doll leg in the parking lot of like my apartments one time, and so it's a dirty doll leg. That'd be a cool name for a band, Dirty Doll Leg, like a punk band.
Yeah.
So I'd probably call my mercenary band Dirty Doll Leg.
That's awesome.
Like triple canopy, just very simple.
Dirty doll leg.
Yeah, and it's it would be like
DDL LLC.
Yeah, DDL LLC. That's right.
That's cool, man.
We would probably specialize in like humanitarian stuff because I don't know if there are many mercenary companies like Doctors Without Borders or Project Rubicon.
Yeah,
where they like go into conflict areas and they're like there to like set up like CCPs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess I'm just a terrible person then.
No, that's all right. I'm a better person than you. That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, you probably are.
Cam, to be fair, some people just need killing.
Yeah,
right.
There you go.
Yep. And some men just want to watch the world burn.
And business is booming.
Wait, what's that from? Oh, man.
Do you know?
It's Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah.
He says, I'm in the business of killing Nazis, and business is booming.
There you go.
That's
there
it.
you
Yeah,
go.
that's what that's from. I need to see a lot of these quotes I say, and I have no idea where they came from.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, last one, anime, Dragon Ball Z, Ginyu Force's Mercenary Force.
Ginyu Force.
That's it.
Dude, those guys are awesome. Don't they all have their own like little theatrical stuff? Like, pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, they do like their poses.
Yeah.
They have to practice their poses for Ginyu Force.
God, yeah, Ginyu Force is awesome. Who was your favorite character from the Ginyu Force?
Ginyu Force. I can't remember, man.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I was.
There's a
Ginyu
dude with a
Force.
mohawk, like an orange mohawk, and he had like the little. They all have the eyepieces, but
Yeah, they all have the eyepieces. Oh, I remember. We used to play the Dragon Ball Z game, and there's that ginger guy that's super jacked.
yeah, that's who I'm thinking
Ginyu
of.
Force. Yeah, I like the. I'm pretty sure I like the big blue guy. He's cool because he's blue. He's cool because he's blue. But anyways, we got to move on.
Yeah,
We're running out of
let's
time.
get out of here.
All right, guys. Fan question of the episode. This one comes from Joe Crazy. And he wants to know, what are your guys' views on private military contractors, in parentheses, PMCs? So,
Yeah, this is right in line with the episode.
this is very in line with the episode. I think it's cool, man. Hey, you used to be able to make a lot
of money.
a lot of money.
Back
doing
like early 2000s, right when the
Yeah.
Iraq and Afghanistan conflict kind of became a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Nowadays, it's like it's a good source of income, but it's not what it used to be now. It's like now when I see dudes asking to go into the PMC line of work, and I have a lot of buddies going, I actually was very interested in myself because as an infantryman, when you get out of the military, you can either become a police officer or a mall cop.
That's right.
And that's about all you're qualified to do.
Right.
So a lot of people come out of the infantry and they just go straight PMC because they're like, well, it's an easy transition, and I just basically it's easy transition.
Yeah.
Unless you have a family, and that's like if you're a single dude, contracting is great.
Right, because you're gone a lot.
You're gone depending on the contract you're doing. Like I have a buddy that's contracting. Actually, I have a couple buddies that are contracting for GRS right now, and he's gone 3 months at a time, come back for a month, and goes. Yeah, so he's gone. A good chunk of the year. He's gone 9 months out of the year right now, and he's back for 3.
That's like more often than like a Ranger regiment would deploy.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So, but I mean, you make like think about it. You're deployed for 3 months straight, making anywhere from 300 to 500 a day.
Maybe you could do that for like a couple years as like as a part of your overall plan, and then get out and do whatever. You know?
Exactly. So yeah, you make good money. Don't get me wrong, but you're gone out of the year. You're gone. So if you're single, it's awesome. Not to mention you get to continue like shooting, and depending on what company you work for, big emphasis on that. It depends on the company you work for.
Right, depending on the company you work for.
That's
company you keep.
Yeah. So, and I know the CIA contracts dudes out. There's a lot of Rangers and soft guys that contract for the CIA.
It kind of connects up, and it kind of makes sense that you would go into something similar to what you were doing.
Exactly. And it's through the CIA, so it's really good benefits and whatnot. I mean, think Benghazi, those guys, they were CIA contractors.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
John Krasinski.
Yep, they were CIA contractors. So
James
you can get into it. I think it's a cool job, man. Just if you're thinking about pursuing it, definitely network before you do it and get the ins and outs.
Do your research.
Do your research, because it's not everything you think it is. It's not like you're rolling around with VIPs. A lot of times you're just stuck on a gate.
Yeah.
And at an embassy or something, wasting your time. But it's
Yeah.
good money. It's good money.
And one thing too, I don't know how the infrastructure works these days, but I remember one of the drawbacks back when I was like in Iraq, or things that I had heard, was like, if you get into a scrap or whatever, there's no backup. Or like, unless you have it like built in.
You don't have
like,
fires.
There's no like QRF and stuff like that. I'll tell you about something I saw during my training at a certain school in my training. But like, it was a video they showed us to show just how dangerous the situation can be, and how volatile and uncertain it can be if you're out there on your own and you get captured. But it was a video that was captured from the enemy, from insurgents. And it was them taking video of a helicopter they had shot down, and it was a PMC helicopter. It was a private, contractor. And they go around and they like show like there's like burning bodies and stuff. And there was a dude that lived, and he gets up and he's like all like woozy, and they're like talking to him and stuff. And then they're just like, and then they just shoot him.
Yeah, right.
Just
we're done.
because whatever,
Yeah.
because what do they care? So anyway, that was like that's the image that sticks in my mind when I think of PMCs. I'm like, you are out there flapping.
Oh yeah, dude. You're still in a combat zone, so, and not to mention you're doing, depending on your assignment, like you could be doing PSDs for like ambassadors and stuff, or like I said, you can be on a gate guard. So depending on your skill level,
not very glamorous.
Yeah, depending on your skill level,
right,
and your assignment, it all depends. But nice. It's a very specific lifestyle for very specific individuals. So Joe Crazy, and we hope that answered your question.
Game time, baby.
Game time.
It's time for the game.
Yeah.
Time for the game. Speaking of games, Tom Brady retiring. That's fucking nuts.
Wow, way to throw that in.
Had to throw in.
That has nothing to do with anything
that,
we ever talked about.
sucks at football is like, yeah.
All right. So this game is called The Good, the Bad, and the Mercenary. I'm going to say the name of a mercenary, and you tell me if they're a good guy, a bad guy, or both.
Ooh.
Both.
It's as easy as pie if there was a theoretical way to make a pie out of this guessing game.
Nice. Okay.
3.14572.
Stop that. Okay. Here's the warm-up. Deadpool.
Good. Deadpool. He's good guy and bad guy, right?
I feel like he's the kind of guy, I think he's more on the good guy side because it definitely in the first one, like the only people that he's messing with are other bad guys, right? So
yeah. I mean, the bad guys, he's a bad guy.
And he associates with the good guys, though.
Yeah. I would consider
Colossus
him
comes
both.
up, you know.
I would consider him because he's kind of an anti-hero, right?
Yeah, he's definitely the anti-hero archetype.
And he's got a bad reputation from
This is just the warm-up, guys.
Both. I'm going to say both.
Both.
It's both.
Yes.
In the comics, he starts off as a bad guy. He's trying to kill all the people in X-Force.
Oh, interesting.
All right. So for the real game.
Okay.
Royce. From Predators. Adrian Brody's character.
Oh, Adrian Brody's character. Okay.
I mean, he is a mercenary. He's former U.S. Special Forces, I think. And he's got like a shotgun, like an auto shotgun or something.
Is that the one that says like sexual Tyrannosaurus?
No, that's Predator. That's the first Predator movie. This is the Predators when they find.
Is that the guy with
on an alien planet?
He's the AA-12. Is the automatic shotgun?
Yes, he has the AA-12. Yep.
I remember. I think he's a good guy.
Yeah, he speaks harshly and acts like he's not very, like friendly, but he ends up doing the right thing. So he's a good guy.
That's correct. He's a good guy.
Yes.
Next one, Jango Fett.
Jango Fett is a bad guy.
He's a bad guy. He's the genetic template for all the clones.
Yeah.
He fights against Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
And he gets his head chopped off by Mace Windu.
He's a bad guy.
Yep.
All right, Deadshot.
Deadshot, he's bad news bears.
Well, I mean, he's a little bit of both because he's obviously in jail at the start of the movie.
Yeah, and then he saves the world.
Yep, and he
does save the world, and that's pretty good.
And he's got a daughter.
Yeah, he's got kids and offspring. He reproduces. Yeah, he's good and bad.
I put him as bad.
No. Well, whatever, Chris. Maybe you're wrong.
You need to get your morals straight.
Yeah, he saves the world.
Yeah, but he only did it because they would have killed him if he didn't.
But he also he does it for his daughter.
But he has a daughter.
Lots of bad people have kids.
Yeah,
that's Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
You're gonna have to help me out with this. I think he's just a bad guy because he takes Han Solo, man.
He's both.
He's a bad guy.
If he's both, and because
if you're only going by
Chris,
the original
you're
trilogy,
fucking biased because
why would I only go by one piece of something if it's all canon?
You're both. He's both.
Oh, what do you work for Disney Corp now? Huh? You big Corp guy?
Yeah, he's both because in this new series,
we're running out of time here.
He's both because in the new series he does a lot of good.
I'll go with you on that one.
He's both.
Yes.
All right. Major Blood.
From
G.I. Joe.
Major Blood. Bad guy. Total bad.
Bad.
Look at his name.
Major Blood is a bad guy. Very good.
Yeah. Listen to him.
All right. Malcolm Reynolds.
No idea.
From Firefly.
Oh. Malcolm.
Mal.
You got
a
bit of both. Because they're bounty hunters, but they have good morals.
Sure.
I just put him as a good guy.
Oh, okay.
All right, Judge Holden. This is a real-life person, and he's also the main character in Blood Meridian, which is a Cormac McCarthy novel. But this is a real person, a real mercenary.
Judge Holden. I'm going to say bad guy.
I'm going to say good guy.
He's taken from real life. There's very little ambiguity when it comes to mercenaries in real life.
I'm going to say good guy.
He's a bad guy. I'm going to read you this quick little blurb about him. Purportedly a historical person, there's only ever accounts of him by other people. A murderer who partnered with John Joel Glanton as a professional scalp hunter in Mexico in the American South during the mid-19th century. To date, the only source of Holden's existence is Samuel Chamberlain's My Confession, Recollections of a Rogue, an autobiographical account of Chamberlain's life as a soldier during the Mexican-American War.
Nice.
That's pretty
I
cool.
love the historical.
So he's just a scalp hunter.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I want my scalps.
If you want to read like a disturbing book, read Blood Meridian.
Blood Meridian.
Because I was like, wow, if this even remotely happened, this is horrible.
Really? All right.
I may or may not have moved their bodies. I do not recall.
All right. And the last one. You guys are doing great, by the way. I think Cam's beating Izzy here.
What?
I think we tied
because
we're tied right now.
Okay. Miggs Mayfield.
Miggs Mayfield from
The Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian.
Bill Burr's character.
Bill Burr's character?
I mean,
who's Bill?
He's a bad guy.
Oh, that guy. No, he's a good guy.
He's a bad guy. I mean, like, all the stuff that he does, like, I know
he's both.
He's a bit of both.
He's both.
We'll say both.
He's both.
Okay.
Very good, guys.
Yes, because he sees his old general and he's like, I'm going to fuck
He's like, I can't. I'm sorry.
He's like, I can't. I have to redeem myself. He's like, I left all those dudes back.
Yep.
Bill Burr's character. I totally forgot Bill Burr's even in the Mandalorian.
All right, folks. We're going to wrap it up here pretty quick. We appreciate you joining us. Check out Shiftfire, our YouTube channel. Get a hold of us on Instagram at PCFM Podcast. Write us an email, pcfmpodcast@gmail.com. We release a new episode every Wednesday. Check out our YouTube page for the PCFM Podcast. A little bit extra content there for your perusal. You can hang out with me at twitch.tv/myhappyself. I stream 3 days a week. Cameron
has a streetwear brand and it is called KITGOD, Kit God Apparel. Check us out on Instagram or go ahead and head over to our website, www.kitgodapparel.com. Support it if you want, don't if you want. I don't care.
You're free.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You're a free person. You're American or you're not, which is okay too. But thank you for listening. Cue music.